You know how, like, furry drama has a tendency to repeat itself over and over and over again? If you're in the furry fandom for long enough, you kind of see a pattern where the same shit comes up over and over again. I will put my own fucking money on it. $100 says that in 2 years from now, people starting to make a ruckus, quote-unquote people, as in one person, and it's presumed to be the rest of the furry fandom, people will make a ruckus about poodling once again. Within 2 years, we will have a day, if not a weekend or a week on the furry fandom Twitter, where poodling will yet again be something people will be talking about. Of like, are people really thinking that poodling is an issue? No, they aren't, Becky. It's just one person and... But yeah, furry drama has a tendency to recycle itself because people have shit opinions or shit takes. And, hey, you know what? Within 2 years, I will be $100 richer. From who? Who knows? But yeah, speaking of the NSFW shit show that has been happening on Twitter, I'll be honest, it's worth somewhat talking about. And I did grab some resources, some notes. I did take some notes, and I did some research last night. And I kind of want to talk about it today. I know you kind of expected it to happen. The whole, I guess, tweet discussion on Twitter kind of was interpreted weird. I'll be honest, I'm not taking the whole devil's advocate approach, okay? If you know, you know. But I will say, was this whole situation worded weirdly? Yes. Were they wrong? I don't know. It depends on how you exactly see it. Let's just get into it, okay? So, if you don't have Twitter, which, God bless your soul, you're probably living a much better and happier life. You're living in, like, 2050 right now. You know that whole meme of, like, the utopia, like, cars flying image that goes around and some people tweet out? Imagine that of, like, if furry Twitter didn't exist, we'd be living in, like, utopia. Probably. Actually, probably not, because the next best thing would be Fur Affinity. I don't know if I want people to be on that site 24/7. But with regards to furry Twitter, people started memeing someone's post recently about not posting vor in safe for work spaces. So here's the thing. What they were somewhat wording was something else, but you're given 240 characters to make sense of something when the subject wording was weird. It ended up being something really weird. We'll go over it in a second. Someone posted a thing. People took it out of context. People took it a different way. I'm gonna be honest. They did take it a certain way. And yeah, people be upset over Puritans, which is a new term that I've heard recently. And apparently Puritans are with regards to people that just do not like sexual anything at all and are like, you know, we need to get rid of that in the furry fandom, which some people like that do exist. But does it fit the bill for the subject? Not really, and I want to kind of talk about it today. So let's go over the original tweet. So this was posted a few days ago, and let me just say, this was posted during a time where I was doing so much stuff and having so much fun with friends. And so I checked Twitter the next day. I'm like, what is everyone talking about? NSFW, this and that. Did some furry make a hot take? And apparently this is the hot take. And again, this is why I say that wording is everything with whatever your intention is and what you're tweeting. And again, it's fucking Twitter. We'll go over it. Twitter is fucking weird. So, the tweet reads as follows. Furries, could you please stop pretending that vor is safe for work? I mean, it sort of is and isn't. I'm genuinely sick of it being shared in safe work art spaces. It's a kink. It's NSFW. Your character's engorged stomach is not wholesome. I mean, it's a whole unit, so it's whole... I'm weird jokes anyways. There's absolutely nothing wrong with liking vor, but please keep it in NSFW tags. I mean, so here's the thing. I read this bit, and I agree with separating not safe for work content from safe for work content. But the rest of this bit, I can see why furries got upset. So, with regards to this post, the whole argument of vor not being safe for work is arguable. And that's why I tweeted something recently, which we'll go over later. But when it comes to Twitter and vague tweets and vague posts like this, like, what is the context? Did someone post vor in an art chat? Did someone post vor randomly out of pocket? Is this just one of those normal, like, furry things of, like, how they, like, say hello and try to make friends via NSFW art of like, hello, insert my favorite porn here. You guys like this, right? I mean, here's the thing as well. Was it strictly not safe for work, or was it just supposed to be implied vor? Because if it's the whole implied vor thing, then there's another conversation to be had about what not safe for work is and what not safe for work isn't. But moving on from this, couple of follow-up tweets that they sent out, which I think sort of puts into perspective what they were really talking about rather than bashing vor. Because I'm going to be honest, first time you read this through without even like paying attention to the last bit, because first sentences, first impressions, yada yada, it can seem like it's bashing the concept of vor. Like, oh, I do not like vor. I do not want to see it posted anywhere. It's disgusting, blah, 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 which everyone has their own opinions. You can have that. It's whatever. Cool. But follow up to this, y'all can stop with some people like vor, not sexually. I don't care what reason you want to be eaten. Keep that shit in NSFW where it belongs. Vor is a purely art thing. It's not hard to not mix that shit with actual safe work content. Kids don't want to see your fucking hashtag belly life art. I mean, to be honest, yeah, they kind of have a bit of a point. I think tagging things properly does help a bit, but at the same time, it seems a bit antagonistic towards people that, you know, might enjoy vor, not sexually. It's like, that's a whole fucking argument. I'm trying to figure out how I can even just discuss this, you know? I have to reread this to somewhat try to understand it myself or just see what the argument is. Y'all can stop with some people like vor, not sexually. I don't care what reason you want to be eaten. Keep that shit in NSFW where it belongs. I mean, yes, but also no. I think that's sort of like the big issue with separating not safe for work and safe for work content in the fandom. Like, yes, vor is a kink, but at the same time, I've seen safe for work vor. Like, there is such a thing as implied somewhat vor, but isn't actual vor. It's very complicated, and the whole concept behind what is safe for work and not safe for work is very, very weird in the furry fandom. And this is specifically in the furry fandom, not with regards to general media, you know, because general media is like, you know, whatever. But yeah, for private quote retweets, yada yada, why do you care? Cool. But vor is in cartoons. Y'all are really creepy for comparing children's media to actual finished material with obvious emphasis on vor aspects, especially as an argument for being safe for work and okay for minors. Real fucking... I mean, what? This post got way out of hand and people are unironically calling me Puritan, Christian conservative, and a minor. I'm 24, drawn like NSFW vor. I keep NSFW tag. Absolutely weird how upset some people you are. I don't know why they were called a Puritan or whatever it is. That doesn't really fit the bill for this. Non-furries will see furry artwork, if not like most, if not all of it, as NSFW. And that's within perspective. NSFW is a completely subjective standpoint. Some people can look at NSFW art and be like, oh yeah, it's NSFW. Some might not see it as that because reason X, Y, or Z. This is a really fucking weird conversation because I wasn't expecting to talk about what is NSFW and what is SFW. So here's the thing. Again, with this whole tweet that they posted, it's very much context is needed. And I think the reason why a lot of furries were upset is because vor was targeted, or a specific kink was targeted, and it seemed somewhat antagonistic towards that one kink, fetish, whatever you call it. So here's the thing as well. I'm gonna be honest. This is my hot take on it. They aren't wrong about separating safe for work and not safe for work content. I'm very much for that, especially with regards to kids. However, within the context of what they're talking about with it being in safe for work group chats, just ban the dude. Just warn them and then ban them. Block accounts that post vor. Block the hashtag vor. Block certain things on certain accounts. Like, I don't get why furries have such an issue with using the block button. I don't understand it. Here's the thing. Furries make such a big fucking deal about the block button. It is unreal. It's unreal. Like, here's the thing with me. If I see something that I'm uncomfy with, I block it or I mute the creator who did it. Okay? There are plenty of fetishes and things that I am uncomfy with. As an adult, that I'm uncomfy with. What I do is I block and I move on. At the same time, people can do that. And the whole argument goes a bit awry when kids are brought into it, you know, when they have accounts and they see shit, because they shouldn't see shit to begin with. They shouldn't see anything NSFW, anything that makes them uncomfy to begin with. No one should. But that's an entirely different... I don't know how you even assess that sort of thing. God damn. So, like, apparently some people went through the replies of that whole original tweet of people just being upset about certain things. Obviously, vor just weirds me out in general, honestly. That's okay to do that. Here's the thing about this tweet. When you see the replies here, it kind of puts into perspective somewhat what the opinion is, or what that there's fucking bias behind the tweet. Hold on. I gotta lose my train of thought. I don't like this. Wait. Hold on. Is this an actual thing? The amount of fetishes in the fandom that are passed off as jokes to safe work is astonishing. Pause or moz? How is Dude, that's an entire fucking meme. What? You're kidding, right? Do people just, like, continue to forget that the fandom is extremely sexually open and sexually positive? Do people just forget about this and are like, wait a minute. You're telling me people, like, vor openly? But this is kind of the case for a lot of it. I'm, like, the people that are replying here with regards to this tweet, I don't know what they were talking about. The co-ops regretfully think of the children language shit on and kink they don't like part 3345. That's actually kind of it, because the whole narrative here was something separate from Vor, from what I'm assuming that the OP was doing, but people were applying it and putting their input of like, I don't like Vor in general. It weirds me out. Vor is disgusting, honestly. When you have replies like this, it completely misdirects the narrative of what the OP is talking about. And that's, again, why some people, or rather a majority of furries that saw this post, thought that it was bashing Vor, which in this case, it somewhat seemed like it. Yes, the Twitter post is just a more complicated version of their F list. The more I go through and read the replies to it, it's just the biggest, most convoluted F list I've ever seen. It's like, that's the way I saw it. It's just like, we tolerate TF more. Oh, we don't like Vor. Oh, we don't like this or that. Oh, we bash this. We're disgusting this. We love this. It's just a complicated F list. The furry Puritans try to sell the idea that you can, with sound Boolean logic, determine whether something is safe for work or not, on a completely conclusive way, 100% of time. Vor art is always not safe for work. Vor art is always not safe for work. False. Vor art can be safe for work. It can be, I think. I think? Yes. Following up. They ignore reality when they claim this. If it was so trivially easy to determine what's NSFW or obscene, then our legal system wouldn't need the Miller test. What the fuck is the Miller test? But I do get what Soatalk is saying here, where determining whether something is not safe for work or if it's safe for work is very complicated. And saying that all of one thing is not safe for work because opinions, whatever the opinions might be, isn't necessarily true, because some people might see it as safe for work. Within the norm of certain perspectives or certain environments, could be seen as safe for work. So moving on. Here's a fun topic. A lot of kink things aren't actually sexual for the participants. They get no arousal or gratification when doing the weird thing. Why do they do it then? Hell if I know. Ask one of them. Yeah, ask me. The people who make these claims, ironically, are willing to allow carve-outs for kinks they aren't as repulsed by. See, for example, what is this? Here's the thing as well. Vor might be like 90% safe for work. It might be a fetish for some people. But it has a definition for what it is. Same with transformation or TF. Transformation is an actual thing that happens in media. Sexual or not. Why on earth is it being pinned as entirely being a sexual thing? And here's the example of the sort of like, oh, no, this has to make sense to me and only me. And I'll make the exceptions on what is safe for work or not safe for work. So here's this. We have the original post of the Vor. Same for transformation. We saw this a bit. People pretend it's safe for work and quirky, but it's a fetish. You'll involve everyone in it, blah, blah, blah. I like TF just because it helps with my dysphoria. I think it's a fun plot device, and I know a few autistic folks with a special interest in it. I agree with OP. There definitely are these people in the TF community, but you can be a safe work TF artist. Okay, so we have that. Someone with some sound reasoning to it. I would also agree that TF can be a non-sexual interest. Then why can't Vor be? It has the same, like, what is your argument? I would still say that most furry TF art belongs in the fetish kink category, though. Inanimate TF always gets... What? Again, this is just a complicated version of someone's F list. Just don't follow people that post that sort of thing. If you haven't noticed, furries don't really diverge from what accounts they make. Now, I'm going to be honest. I'll be honest with my hot take. The OP of this was onto something. And I do genuinely mean they were onto something. But the way they sort of let the slippery slope go, where they just kind of kept going, completely took it out of the context that it was. So I thought I'd take up the mantle and actually discuss it. Not with regards to whatever they were doing. I'm just like, no. We're not going this route. Kink shaming certain kinks, like, you do you. We're not doing that to make the sort of stance that we're making here. So I'll somewhat clean it up for them, okay? NSFW art should not be in safe work spaces. Now, here's the thing with that. What is argued to be not safe for work and safe for work is very, very iffy, especially in the furry fandom. With regards to something being not safe for work and safe for work, I saw a lot of arguments on Twitter, most of which were just people memeing about it. I mean, I originally memed about it. Let me bring up the fucking tweet that I did. Sorry, everyone. Can't tweet anymore. Someone feels uncomfy about me tweeting. Therefore, I must stop, and it is not okay. We had a good run. And it was just me memeing. Some people took it seriously, and they were just like... some people like went way, way over the top with it and took it way too seriously. Again, it's Twitter. Don't take it seriously. So I tweeted out at 4 a.m. just to gain some general opinions, because even I was having trouble figuring this out. What is not safe for work? Within the context of the furry fandom, specifically artwork, specifically media, whatever you may have in. What is not safe for work? And assuming the even further context is supposed to be with regards to art, in certain subcategories, in certain genres, in certain fetishes, interests, whatever. So I tweeted out just asking the general public, and I got a very interesting set of responses. Asking for research purposes. No, seriously, I am. What is NSFW in the furry fandom? What does NSFW mean? What makes something NSFW? Can something implying an NSFW concept be, and that was supposed to be safe for work? I'm gonna be honest. This was supposed to be safe for work. This is me tweeting at 4 a.m. and people were confused by what I was saying. I'm like, just ignore that. We're cutting out the fourth question. So it was supposed to be, can something implying an NSFW concept be truly safe for work, even when it does not fulfill certain NSFW criteria? Which would be the case of VOR, which would be the case of TF, several different things we talked about thus far. Oh, Bolt actually gave some insight. Hold on. I want to watch this. Bolt, first off, Bolt, absolute sweetheart. We need to fucking watch him.
Hi, it's me, Bolt,
I
your
love
former ex-adult entertainer.
Oh my god.
Not safe for work things are really important to address because it's really important to have a barrier between the adults in the community and the minors. So,
yes.
A really important thing to keep in mind
he gets
is
it!
If you showed something to a minor, would you go to jail? If you're not sure, probably don't fucking do it.
I mean, that's, yes.
Just a thought. Now, on a real note, it's really important because, like, while there are plenty of people who think that you're old enough at whatever age to, like, try to participate in the not safe for work community, it's really important to remember that, like, these barriers exist for a reason. These barriers exist to protect you and prevent you from making less than good decisions or having people take advantage of that mentality that you have.
Yes.
So, please stay safe. Please label your accounts as safe for work or not safe for work, and have a wonderful day. I love and appreciate you all.
I fucking love him so much. Holy shit. Bolt is amazing. It's a good bit of information, I will say, just in general, with regards to separating NSFW and SFW content. You do it because it's just, you do it, you know? It's just really complicated, and that's where not safe for work becomes subjective, where each person has their own sort of opinion on whether it is safe for work or not safe for work, if it's okay to show to the public without a sexual sort of connotation being added to it. Sometimes this can apply to VOR and TF and so many other things that have been labeled as kinks or fetishes for so many other people. Sometimes it's just genuinely seen as a comfort and chill thing. That's okay. Why don't we use another example? Why don't we use some art from me? Okay, I'm willing to throw myself under the bus for this, okay? So, I posted this earlier yesterday, talking about how, you know, I felt a bit more body positive about myself, about having, like, a nice tum. And now here's the thing. You all know I love tum. But outside of that, my friend Valen, absolute sweetheart, drew this little body positive art piece for me. Not for the sake of it being hot or sexy or whatever, and you can make whatever argument you want at the end of the day about it. You know, oh, he's making the eyes, he's doing a blep, he's showing his body off, this is obviously sexual. The intention, or at least the way I wanted it to be, was not to be sexualized, but it was supposed to be for body positivity. I'm a pretty big guy, but at the end of the day, I've started to learn to be more happy about who I am, how I am, and just liking my body and just being content with me. And I've enjoyed that. I really enjoy being a bigger dude with, you know, the thicker thighs or whatever and the big tum, or just having a little bit of a dad bod, you know? And obviously, I talked about it here. I'm going to take care of my body, work out, eat a bit healthier, make sure that I'm not going to, like, be affected health-wise because of this. But, you know, a little bit of a dad bod can't hurt. And it was supposed to be more so a lesson of, like, no matter what body type you have, no matter what you are, you should be happy and healthy with who you are and what body you have, okay? But some people, if you scroll through, were pretty fucking thirsty about it somewhat and reply like, oh boy, ooh, tum, squishy, I like. And here's the thing, because certain people sexualize it, does not mean that it is NSFW. It does not mean that it is a sexual piece. You know, even though VOR and TF and whatever else has sexual insinuations within the boundaries of the furry fandom by a majority of people, quote unquote, and this is me grasping at really, I don't know what statistic, but just because those exist doesn't mean that people can enjoy it for being safe for work. This has nothing to do with sexualizing being fat, sexualizing vor. Could it imply vor? Sure, if people look at it that way. Could it imply sexualizing it? Sure, they could see it that way. And to be honest, if people were repulsed by it and were like, oh, you know what, this makes me uncomfortable, then fine. I don't blame you, and I don't have anything against you if you don't want to see it and if you unfollow, block. But again, some people would rather be loud about it, and I'm assuming the case of the original poster with regards to the whole shit show that happened on Twitter came from something like this, when in reality they could have just blocked it and moved on. So it all comes full circle. But again, what is seen to be NSFW and what is not NSFW is, I don't know, completely subjective. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.